It's Wednesday, but there's not just three of us today. Today, we have the 4 Wise Man Wednesday edition happening. That's right. We are joined by the Druth Crypto from Blockchain Basement. We will be getting started shortly. Make sure you take an opportunity to smash that like button. We are all three, the three of us, meaning myself, Mind Your Biz, and CryptoBlood, are streaming on our X accounts, our YouTube channels, and I am streaming on my Rumble. We have links down below for each other's socials down below. We're about to get started here in moments.
Yo, it's CryptoBlood, Detroit flow, streaming from the D, knowing what to show. Indicators are wrong point, OG since 12, invested in trade, living life like a pro. I'm Rucker, Jerry, and just bloods do. Bad motherfucker, but in a good way, boo. Got my eyes on the charts, ain't no time to sleep. Kick that money, gotta keep it creep. That's why CryptoBlood, just the toasters on the line. Stacking my coin, got the market on my mind. Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum too. Cash is king, but I'm looking for a new move. I know the culture of the markets like the streets. Got my finger on the pulse, can't nobody beat. I see the trends, I see the flow. Got my strategies in place, you know.
Yo, it's NYBZ on the mic, coming through the mist, talking crypto and privacy things you can't dismiss. YouTube's wild jungle, I'm the lion, can't resist. Guiding through the blockchain, teaching about the risk. Mind your biz, don't miss. Eeny, meeny, mighty biz, we on a privacy blitz. Accepting the myths, dropping knowledge with no tricks. YouTube to the wallet, keep it tight, no links. Click clack, I hack the facts, that's how I attack. From Bitcoin to Monero, stacking privacy back. YouTube's got eyes, but I'm the cloak in disguise. NYB on the rise, educating the wise. Mind your biz, don't miss. Eeny, meeny, mighty biz, we on a privacy blitz. Accepting the myths, dropping knowledge with no tricks. YouTube to the wallet, keep it tight, no links.
RiceTVx, the mic's live wire. American Pitbull, real gold buyer. Sound money advocate, rights defender. In the crypto arena, he's the top contender. From the gritty streets of the digital age, Rice lays wisdom, chapter and page. Silver, gold, he scores only the bold. Land, life, and liberty, these values hold. Constitution, deep dive, knowledge revival. Navigate the system, critical for survival. Rights engraved like inscriptions on metal. Pitbull in the game, lead foot on the pedal.
Oh, yeah, that thing ended before I knew it was going to end, and I was off track on that. But that's what happens when you do it live, people. That's what happens. All right, shout out to the sponsor of RiceTVx, Rice Crypto Pre-Search, the decentralized search engine with AI that rewards. You can find information in every video description on the RiceTVx side. And I think there's actually something seriously wrong with CryptoBlood at this time. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to make it to the live stream. It looks like he's actually having a seizure in real time.
Looking for a reliable crypto exchange? Look no further than Fairdesk.com. Trusted by CryptoBlood for over 2.5 years, Fairdesk powers Bloodalytics, his proprietary trading system known for highly accurate buy and sell signals. CB has trusted Fairdesk's reliable system for years to enhance his trading strategy with Bloodalytics. It's the backbone of consistently beating the market. So join CB and trade with confidence. Use the link in the description below and get 1 month free of Bloodalytics signals. Fairdesk.com. Trade smarter, trade better.
Oh, what was that?
Oh my god, I thought we were trying not to get insta-banned on this one.
Come on, bro.
Unbelievable. I love it.
Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. That was for the truth.
That's Brother Drew. All right.
Appreciate you guys tuning in for today's show. We're going to be talking about the apocalypse that is going to be coming upon us very shortly in some form or another.
Shortly, as in when Nvidia posts earnings at 5:30 today.
I can't believe that's such a big deal right now.
That's so crazy, man.
It is ridiculous.
Joe, here's the thing, though. Well, let's demystify that just a tiny bit.
Okay.
Right now, NVIDIA, they just have the market cornered on hardware to process all these massive AI tools that everyone's using for like OpenAI and Claude and Midjourney. Everybody else, they all are
mining,
entirely dependent on NVIDIA. Well, no, crypto mining for sure. That's a part of it. But I mean, that shifted so much.
Valuation is all AI. That's what that explosion with Nvidia was about.
So real quick, ladies and gentlemen, we instead of doing this 3 Wise Man Wednesday, we had the 4 Wise Man Wednesday. We are joined by the Drew. Thank you for joining us. So we have links down below for the blockchain basement. We also have links down below in each other's video descriptions for each other's socials. So make sure you're following all of us. You could follow Drew at Druth Crypto. Make sure you're following Seth at @mine_your_biz, following Blood at CryptoBlood_, and follow myself at RiceTVx. Sorry to interrupt. Go ahead, man.
I mean, I just am glad to be here, Phyllis. Glad we're still alive. I got a little bit lit up, almost flipped a table over on my live stream today because our food system is compromised. They've had us take vacations
in our food.
Vacations.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hold up. Wait a minute. So, is this Alex Jones talk or is this some serious?
No, I've heard stuff to this effect. Listen. So we have. I mean, I know that they've and I'm not sure the exact name right now, the ingredient, but there's they are adding like cricket protein to a lot of different meats and other substances, and it's listed in ingredients, but it's not listed as cricket, even though Seth loves crickets, because I was with Seth and he bought cricket protein bars.
Well, dude, these were college students, man. These were college.
But you ate them, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I fed them to my kids too. What are you gonna do?
They're gonna if they talk about eat the bugs, or we need to start eating bugs in place of we need to get rid of the cattle because the cattle breathing and farting is destroying the ozone layer. So they're going to put the crickets.
But there's it's always about whether or not it's mandatory, right? Here's the thing. No, in the same way that like even like so Trump is coming back and running on this whole like I didn't cause the vaccine to happen platform, but the I didn't enforce it. That's his platform, right? It's always about making something mandatory. Right. So if they tell you, no, you have to eat the bugs, then like, God, our freedom's gone.
With that.
I can't choose not to. But here's the thing. It's a free market, bro. Go to Southeast Asia. Go to fucking Thailand and try to subsist on a pure red meat only diet. Relative to that market, it just doesn't cover the majority of the people there. That's why you go there, and in their meat markets, you can fucking buy bugs. Like on a stick. Like we eat a corn dog. There's some places where this is done.
A bug kebab. Round of applause for a bug kebab.
I mean, there was actually a restaurant in DC years ago. I don't know if it's still there. It's called the Insect Club, and you can go there and buy mealworm burgers.
The Incest Club. What?
Insect.
Oh, okay.
We're talking about bugs. Where would you get incest out of that, boy?
I don't know. Those insects were very, very close.
Dude,
look, he got stuck talking about incest. He got stuck there for a minute.
I know. We need to make our own food. Like, we need to be like decentralizing gardening right now. Like,
dude, there's a novel idea. Wait a second, Drew. This is revolutionary. When was this idea come up with? Who thought of this?
Well, it's World War II. Freedom Gardens. Yeah, it's second world championship. Freedom Gardens were a huge thing, and we had to do them because our food supply was constrained, and we needed to provide that to the military. But right now, we have a different reasons because, in my opinion, our supply is compromised, and what they're doing is they are not only killing the T levels within men. So I'm surrounded by a bunch of squishies.
Testosterone. We could say that. I think we can say that.
We can say testes.
Yeah, because they're trying. That's why we see soy boys in existence today.
Yes, they're everywhere.
Well, and that's why they're trying to convert kids behind your back as a parent to convince them to cut them off willingly.
And this is
they took the glove. They took the mask off.
All this is relevant to actually preparing for the apocalypse. So completely listen.
And lots of steak I think is really important. Growing our own food is really important. And really what I see when I look around me, like Georgia, kind of like the birthplace of decentralized conflict with the Appalachian Mountains and the thick foliage and the ability to essentially implement guerrilla warfare. Now, what we have here in Georgia is a very squishy demographic. This is the birthplace for soda pop. And essentially, I see a bunch of weakness among men out here. Even the big old farmer dudes, they have huge necks. It's squishy, right? There's no strength there. You don't have any ability to carry a bag for 40 miles. You don't have any ability to hoist things up. It's a slow-moving, malleable, controllable populace, and that's a problem because I think that we have extreme levels of control systems coming down our throats. They're going to try to implement it, and we have to push back in a very tangible way very shortly. I really think that this is coming.
I gotta ask you something before we get into the nitty gritty here today, Truth. Someone who isn't controlled or can't be controlled is RFKJ, and now the nice lady from Hawaii, Tulsi Gabbard. How do you feel about them joining? They're calling the coalition. I like that word. Unity. But what's your take on this coalition that's being assembled here?
So I've followed RFK for about 20 years. He's been one of the most consistent political constituents that I've followed my entire life. And I don't think that everything that RFK I don't support, because he at one point was against the Second Amendment when he was trying to pander to the Dems.
Yeah.
But also, quick reminder, Trump went after let bump stocks be targeted by the ATF.
Yeah.
And that was unconstitutional as well. So, both sides have tried to take their aim at weaponry being available to the United States public. But on RFK's side, I am extremely bullish on his move to clean up our food supply. And I think that if we can focus his litigation background and his medical knowledge into cleaning up our food supply, it's really, I think it might be too little too late, but at least we have someone at the top that is bringing it to everyone's attention, because everyone's wondering, why is cancer up 300%? Why is autism, 1 out of 30 kids are autistic right now, right? That is not normal. That is not a normal society. And these autoimmune chronic illness diseases that are all over the place, everyone's hooked on some kind of pill to exist. No one's raw dogging it. You know what I mean? We got to have society that
I want to add something to what you said. I was listening to an interview, and I can't remember who was doing it with. Is her name Nicole Shanahan?
Yes,
I know Shanahan was the correct name. So she was talking about what was whether or not she backed up RFK Jr. for backing up Trump. And one of the things that she said that was mentioned in the interview that she wouldn't that would be a no-go for her is talking about the way that our medical system is being done, and apparently Trump wants to privatize a lot of that. And they were kind of pushing back on that element. And what she said was almost what you said. She said it really doesn't matter if we clean up the food supply, because if we have better food, we're going to have less sick people that have to go in and have to get involved in the health system in the first place. So it doesn't matter whether or not we have privatized health, because if we're actually eating things that are positive for our body, then we are definitely not going to need health. That's where privatizing health, you end up having shareholders and investors, and then they want profits.
Yes.
And you can't do that with healthy people. So it's just kind of, and I understand it's maniacal. It's genius, but it's maniacal what they've done and how they've coordinated the laws, everything.
Yeah. Well, the application.
Can I share just really quickly? Can I share a personal anecdote from this dealing with the current system? I do a lot of preventive maintenance, right? And care for my body. I try to eat really well. I try to work out on a pretty regular basis. I'm typically told I don't look my age or whatever. I look barely within 10 years of my age, and I've got a great heart rate. Whatever. I take a lot of care of myself. So I had to go because of a recent surgery that I had. And this was necessary surgery to work on teeth, right? So dental surgery, you have to take something like an antibiotic. You have to take some kind of, occasionally post-operation care to make sure you don't mess yourself up. Well, I had a procedure done outside of the country, and the entire the experience
there,
between,
buddy.
Right?
See,
I sure
Rice. Did. He's a sneaky one.
I know he's sneaky. I'm telling you. I'm gonna say it right now on the stream, okay? Just so everybody's aware of this.
No,
Okay?
don't do it. Don't do it.
Do it. You can't.
Go ahead.
Look, you
Go
can't,
ahead,
you can't
Seth.
dig a hole any deeper than all the way through. Let's go.
Go ahead, Seth.
Let's get to the bottom of it.
I just let everybody wonder what it is.
Yeah.
But Seth really is 65. I do agree with that. Shout out to Matty B, Real Infinite Crypto, Bad Fox, Memories of Mike. We got lots of people in the house. Make sure you smash that like button. Yeah. If you're watching on the X side, be sure to repost. That helps us get more eyes on the live stream. And we are streaming on all of our socials, except for Druth. But we're streaming on our X accounts. We're streaming on our YouTubes. We have links for each other's channels down below. Sorry.
Let me land the plane on a little anecdote. So getting a little bit of healthcare outside of this country in a very necessary way, as somebody who already takes care of himself, right? So it's not like I'm in a chronic state. But being able to compare that to when I got to the States and had to have my prescriptions changed and the experiences that I had there, it was like, oh my gosh. Like, no, they want us sick and dying over here. It's crazy.
Absolutely. And, if you control the food supply, you control the money, you have absolute power. And that's like, we talk about decentralization of money and putting crypto on a cold storage wallet and creating this supply squeeze on Bitcoin. Great. But you know what? We're already like centralized and captured in our food supply to like a 99 percentile degree. And it's uncomfortable to farm. I understand that, but it's worth it, man. Like, I have babies, I have a big old family of kids, and I go through a lot of extra steps to give them vegetables out of the garden, to focus the energy to like cooking lamb, organic lamb, grass-fed lamb, steak, things of that nature, buffalo. You have to give them those ingredients. You can't just I even see rich people letting their kids eat McDonald's every single day. They are literally dooming this next generation that they have under their wing.
And with the farming thing that you said, something I think is really important, that especially if you live in cities, is have somebody that's got some land and do some community farming. Work together, because community is key when it comes to something like this. And if you are working together, it's less work on everyone individually.
Yes, absolutely. And supporting local, man. Like, give some money to your local farmer. Like, if we just let these corporations focus in the power, I mean, that is, an army and a society operates off their gut, and our gut is we have this what's called this sad American diet, SAD, right? And it's basically become an imbalance where historically we were supposed to have 80% good bacteria and 20% bad bacteria in our gut for this nice happy biome balance in our guts. Now it's literally the opposite, or not worse, where we have 80 to 90% bad bacteria in our stomachs and a little bit of probiotics or good bacteria. And it's really jacking people's mental state up. Why do we think that everyone's so depressed? Why do we think that we're going to see another Palestinian movement out in the streets and all these people are going to burn their local cities to the ground again when the orange one returns? It's because they are mentally unstable. And this is a result of our food supply. I saw a comment here, vertical growing helps a lot with space. I've been preaching self-sustainable living nonstop since 2020. Hindsight is 2020, right? It is. Just a great thing to keep in mind there.
Yeah. Hey, Drew, are you saying then that you think more people should learn how to stomach sauerkraut and kimchi?
Yes.
Grow some culture, maybe?
Yes, absolutely, man. And you could get it through all kinds of avenues. But I mean, probiotics, I love hamburgers. I love pizza. I love all those things. But really, as we get further and further down this route of control, I've literally cut it to an extremely clean diet. Sauerkraut's another great avenue. If you can find a good organic sauerkraut, make your own sauerkraut, you can ferment your own things, because if they can't control your food supply, they can't control your personal security because you already have one in the chamber and a couple in your car, then you're in an ungovernable position. If you take your value off the internet into cold storage, you grow your own food and you provide your own security, you are it. And they hate it. They want to stop it. You need to become it out there in the crowd. For God's sake, stop this control mechanism from coming down the throats of everyone. We're to see what's happening to the dude from Toncoin. I mean, these.
No, they did Pavel dirty. They did Durov dirty.
Yes.
That was not okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And that was a call from the State Department. I'm betting it was a call from the State Department.
Sure. I've heard something that there was some sort of pressure from the Biden administration to Macron, and apparently he was catfished in because he was told that Macron wanted a direct meeting with him. But also something else, if you guys haven't checked it out, as far as the Ton creator, this founder, what's his name?
Pavel
Durov.
She's like the Russian Giga Chad.
Check out
Durov.
the interview that Tucker Carlson did a couple months ago. I was even asked Blood if he wanted to do like a reaction to it. It's a great interview, and it took place like 4 months ago, and it's one of his first interviews in a while because he's really apprehensive about doing interviews. Then the other thing is check out a video that Tone Vase recently did on him specifically, because one of his problems that he had, and this can be a problem, is having too many second passport citizenships. He apparently had 4 or 5 different ones. He was also a citizen of France, and I think that might have potentially fucked him by him becoming a second, third, whatever citizen. But having that many different, that's where the UAE thing came in, because he's a citizen there too. He's a citizen in Russia. He's a citizen in, I think, St. Kitts. So he has all these different second passports, and the more, it's all right to kind of have a second passport. There's risks that come with it. But the more that you have, the more jurisdictions that you open yourself up to.
Yeah, potentially. But at the same time, if you're careful about which jurisdictions you're dealing in, as far as those identities and those passports, like freedom of movement is important in terms of being able to establish innocence before you subject yourself to a really, really terrible legal situation. Dude, that's literally what happened to Snowden, right? He took what few resources he had to quickly bounce into countries that would suit his escape plan best. And sometimes having the right passports for the right places is just part of that strategy. So like as a multi-billionaire, a guy like Pavel Durov, dude, try to put yourself in his shoes. I don't think I can fully imagine what it would be like to have that level of like strings attached to your life where it's not really your own, because you have so much money. Everybody wants something from you, and you make this tool that governments are, hounding you about. Like I would be equally paranoid, if not a lot more. And I think that the multiple passports thing, any of us would have been, But no, the passport thing. That's what I'm saying. Like maybe.
But why would you want a fucking French
you would
passport?
need to have it.
That doesn't make sense. The French passport doesn't make sense. UAE, that makes sense. The French passport, even St. Kitts, that makes sense. But why France?
Yeah, it's pretty weird. It's a pretty weird take. And I've been considering like the Weidert family, Weidert, and it's like a huge family in Luxembourg. I can get a passport and a citizenship to Luxembourg, which is actually pretty hard to get.
An ancestry one?
Yes, it's direct family lineage, and there's like Weidert real estate and all this stuff, like the huge farm that the Weiderts own out there.
Is that German? Is your family like kin? Are you like in with
Germanic?
Are you in with the Schwabs? The Schwabs.
The name is Germanic. That's look from that region. It either comes from the German or the French, and it's definitely not fucking French. Weidert is not French.
Yeah,
but you're admitting the connection to the Schwab, like the Schwab family and the Weidert's family.
Yeah,
we're a connection there.
We're close.
Okay. Just want to make sure we got a lot of controlled opposition in space, ladies.
My grandpa's actually. My grandpas fought each other. One of them was on the German side, on kind of the higher ranking German side, and the other was in Okinawa for the Marines in the U.S. during World War II. So I have knives from each grandfather that, we're both in essence fighting against each other, and I'm the result, right? And so
that makes sense. That makes sense. I used to think my family was
Russian,
let
you know,
or German.
Don't feel bad, because this is a recurring theme that we go through with Rice. Okay, everyone's controlled opposition.
You know, I'm being sarcastic here.
Rice said that Trek. He said that Trek. He needs to. We need to see Trek's eyeballs. He made him remove his glasses because he needed to see his eyeballs
at the Versace mansion.
That man.
I think he's got too much
to him in
THC.
Austin. You traumatized that man.
Yeah.
Trek was like, I don't. I mean, I like Rice or whatever, but I mean, can we go hang out with somebody else tonight? You traumatized.
I don't blame him, man.
Oh my God!
But no, the controlled opposition thing. I mean, we got a guy here who eats bugs, and a guy here whose family is friends with the guy.
Bro, do you need to see me wolf down some raw, freshly butchered game? Because I'll fucking do it. I don't care, man. Like that's the point.
Meat,
I'm an omnivore.
If you,
that's even worse. Seth, you just mess yourself up more.
If you're gonna eat some raw meat on the stream,
part of the reptilian Bilderberg, Illuminati.
I'll take dietary advice from men who can't deadlift half of my max. All right, so this is going nowhere fast.
Yeah, so I had some raw lamb delicious. Raw lamb, very delicious.
Oh, really?
Barely, yeah. And I like, the less I cook nutrients out of food, the better. So, yeah, I'm a medium rare kind of guy, if not leaning to the rare side.
What about you, Seth?
As God intended.
Yeah, absolutely.
What about you, Seth?
Here's the thing. A steak? You're asking how I cook a steak?
Yes. What temperature is your steak?
Dude, look, there are steaks and there are steaks. Depending on the cut is how you want it prepped. A filet mignon raw is a travesty. Why would you get that cut to eat it raw? Eat something else raw. Filet mignon must be cooked all the way through, and it must be cooked slowly enough so that you don't scorch it and you don't sear it. It's that simple.
That's fair.
Oh, look at this, ladies and gentlemen. You're getting some culinary skills and guidance today. We're covering all bases here.
A man needs to know how how red meat works. Period.
Rice? How do you eat your meat?
I'm not a big fan of like blood, so I like medium well, depending. Sometimes
you don't like me? Okay, I understand.
Light pink little, but nothing like juicy blood. I'm not a big fan of blood, and I don't like to eat meat on bones.
I don't either.
I prefer to cut it off. I feel like we're civilized. We don't need to do the caveman thing. I don't eat bone marrow. I don't chew on bones, so I prefer not to have my food attached to the bone. I know eventually it was on a bone, but I just would prefer not to have the bone.
So I'll just tackle a cow and take a bite out of him. Like, I don't give a damn.
Just jump on a cow and just start eating it.
Yeah, absolutely.
That sounds like something Seth would do.
I am more of
a... Seriously, his farm is going to be like a bunch of these cows that are like running away from like little bites out. I'm like,
you're going to have half-eaten animals.
Just slaughter me, please.
What's wrong with your farm animals, sir?
Yeah. I usually order my steaks medium plus, guys. Yes, I'm a medium plus guy.
What's a medium plus?
Really? That blows my mind, man. I don't know.
Medium plus.
He kind of channeled Jack Nicholson's Joker with that one. I don't know how I got that, but Blood, you did it, man. You did the impossible.
Nvidia is getting crazy. We don't have the earnings yet. Did we have the earnings numbers?
I was just going to say that the crypto markets are going up and down. They're just whipsawing all around, bro.
And it should. In all honesty, though, the Nvidia stuff really shouldn't affect crypto like that.
It should, though. We know this.
It does.
Rice. It's over. Ridiculous. It's being fully compromised. At least the price. The price of cryptos have been compromised.
Do you guys drink the you can read.
Coagulated
blood. The coagulated blood.
Listen.
Do both of you drink coagulated blood?
Allegedly.
No.
Okay.
Whoa, hold on a second. Let me bring it to a biblical sense here, right? Because there are some folks who will use the Bible to tell you that you shouldn't have any blood, right? There are some. There's some. I'm not going to name names. I don't want to make people feel uncomfortable. I'm a less strict, I'm not a literalist in my interpretation of the Bible, so I don't think it's wrong to consume blood.
Well, a raw steak has a little blood coming out of it. Is that bad?
Exactly.
That stuff's delicious.
Exactly.
Now, on this AI tokens, you guys, in NVIDIA, so apparently they're saying that it crushed. NVIDIA smashes expectations, strong earnings. 270 versus 209.
Yeah, that's what Bad Fox has up here. I got on screen saying it smashes expectations with strong earnings, adjusted EPS 270 versus the expected 209. And then King Chris Universe said NVIDIA reports 122% revenue growth on surging demand for data center chips. So it's obviously positive. Anything for clicks, there's something wrong with you, my friend.
God damn. Now, how long do we have till this? Because I feel like the NVIDIA bubble will pop, but I think that we're
we're far from it.
You think we're far from it? How long?
I think we're far from it, man.
Give me your thoughts on it, because I'm looking at 2026. Why?
I can't put it on a timeline. It's just more evaluation. I just feel like there's so much that people don't. I follow this AI stuff very closely. And it's just getting started, man. It's just getting started, and you're going to have everyone fully vertically integrated with this new tech. And, man, NVIDIA is going to be that stock. It's going to be that Microsoft of our kids' generation. It's going to be that stock, man, I think, personally. So,
competition. I would like to see some other entities offering instead of it kind of being more of a monopoly.
It's that type of thing where
there
once
are some.
You hit
there
critical,
are some.
There are a whole bunch, but
they're not nothing compared to NVIDIA.
Whoa, no. I wouldn't say that. But as far as their earnings and their valuations go, you're right. Nobody's climbing the same way that Nvidia is right now. Nobody's that outlier yet. But in terms of broad utility in some of the stuff that they're bringing to the AI ecosystem, and then also broad adoption, where they do have a customer base that got real purchase orders going through. They're moving product. They're not like backed up the way that Nvidia is. Intel is one, for example. Intel actually has an incredibly cost-effective sort of scale solution that's in their Xeon line that processes LLMs, does inference really, really well.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not quite on par with NVIDIA, but the point is that they've got a really great sort of price per tokenization, or price per inference sort of breakdown, and they compare really well with NVIDIA's stuff. And
now
Intel is already in a lot of servers.
The issue we're going to have with any hardware stock is that, or tech stock, tech is deflationary, right? So over time, their chips and their boards are going to get less and less, right? Cost less and less to the consumer, to the end user. Even if it's B2C, it's going to be cheaper and cheaper as they get better at what they're doing. So that cuts into their top line. You know, so they're gonna have to do more volume to make up for the difference in the cost of that per unit.
Well, and then as things become cheaper, the more that they're implementing other technologies, the smaller they get, and then they'll be in everybody's phone at some point. It'll be all these different devices.
But scale always starts with the enterprise first, though. It always starts there, like in a server farm that you're never gonna interact with, and by pallet loads and truckloads of units of these things that we can't even fathom the scale of how many of these pieces of shit are being bought by these server farms, right? Like do you know how much, for example, the licensing to the AIB partners, that not NVIDIA proper, but all the companies that produce all these GPUs, right? That the AI stuff. Do you have any idea the total number of units that these guys ship?
I mean, I don't have the exact number, but I know it needs to be tenfold more to make AI actually work at scale.
Exactly, and we were maxing them out with mining up to this
point.
Yes, we everything they produced we bought. So already current production capabilities massive. What I'm telling you is that they produce millions of these things, right? How many gamers will brag about oh yeah, cool, I just upgraded my rig, right? PCMR or whatever. And that's just in the retail side. So on the commercial side, right? The enterprise side, it's just massive. You got these data centers that, again, they're getting their own truckloads just to the one data center.
Yeah, I know we're a crypto centric show and everything, and this is what it's about. But I really I got the same feeling when I saw ChatGPT 2, and then I saw the iteration of ChatGPT 3. I had the same feeling that I had when I found out about Bitcoin. I think this is going to be this is going to be much bigger than crypto. It uses a fraction of the energy, with the output is much. I think it'll be complementary and has a huger impact. I think it's going to be complementary for sure.
Yeah, I'm not saying that, because imagine when we have because I can, and I've seen people talk about this, but imagine a future, it's not very far off, that you have a self-driving car that pulls into a garage, like a car garage, that's ran by robots, and all the transactions are done digitally using cryptocurrency.
Well, they don't have to use cryptocurrency for that, though. And
I get it.
Beyond that,
you can use anything.
It's an encumbrance of proprietary systems that companies like Tesla,
they can use Cash App,
and others.
PayPal.
No. That's my point. Is even that stuff is added friction. It's added drag. You get a company like Sony solving problems like that, and they're going to propose something like Sonium, right? Why do we need a blockchain? Because it's mostly going to be their shit or whatever.
Well, that's why
they won't use a blockchain at all.
Sonium.
No, I mean, there's blockchains that are already partnering up with NVIDIA to be offering decentralized GPU computing power. And I think that there is a .com bubble type opportunity here with crypto projects that are offering decentralized GPU usage. So I think that the private sector is going to find its little niche in providing the GPU offerings, while the United States, I think that the United States is actually going to do what I have been calling a new deal. It's basically an infrastructure overhaul where they aim to far outpace China's ability to handle these large language models through data processing centers. So that's why I feel like distributed GPU crypto projects are actually going to find that private sector use case, and it will be a bubble that pops and goes back down just like the .com bubble. But it's just, I think you have something there, Blood, where, this AI implementation, it's a pretty damn big deal. And
it really is.
It is really a big
deal. So much so that I don't think we're even thinking big enough about it. AI is going to, in my opinion,
control everything.
Change the idea of we won't even have money. Like the concept of money might go away.
I don't think AI is going to get rid of that.
Yes.
But
yes.
That would be interesting.
I think Blood's correct.
But then we would be going into some sort of credit system like Star Trek.
Yeah, but I mean, universal basic income is essentially going to be whatever the credit system is. But like, no, Blood, to your point, it's not AI by itself. It's automation. That's why I mentioned Tesla so specifically earlier. Like, think about it. I'm not this guy that's going to give stock picks or whatever. But I have a sense for which way the wind's blowing for tech, right? I have a sense for what's coming up. Drew, I'm a little less optimistic about the distributed GPU projects as you are. But I mean, I see an opportunity there. I just have a much more dim vision for middle class and their ability to purchase stuff like that. So while it might work at scale, it's really just going to be it'll be like a well-funded, like a high capitalization businesses that do that on the edge case and build all the infrastructure to make really, really high output AI processing data centers, micro data centers.
Well, AI,
I've helped build some of this stuff on the mining side to the order of hundreds of thousands of dollars, build outs. So I've seen this stuff up close and personal and have a sense for with the old mining stuff, just sending a hash through and loading certain algorithms into memory, it was just a way different value proposition to what you need to be able to run a hefty model like Llama 3.1. It's just a totally vastly different IT ecosystem that you have to build up, and the economics of crypto mining don't map onto it. They just don't. Like the infrastructure.
I think you're dead right on the tech side of it, but the speculation is going to be there. And,
totally.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and that's what I'm here. Because
retail needs good news.
The question is, will AI cause the apocalypse, or will it fix us and save us from the apocalypse?
It's not gonna fix the apocalypse, bro. It's gonna look at us like we're fucking locusts. Are you kidding me?
No, I mean that's the alarming thing about a future with AI. Well, that's what I'm getting into. That's one of the alarming things about the future of AI is depending on how much control over different systems AI has. If AI was to communicate with itself or other AI and start to just question what's going on and how can we fix the planet and start to evaluate what's going on, I would come to the conclusion, if I was AI, that human beings seem to be the problem. So if we eliminate human beings, the earth would be
well, here's the scariest thing though. That's an AI that's been taught by humans that you imagine will think that. An AI that finally advances
AGI?
well beyond humans, like an AGI that advances.
You don't think AI that creates
but
other
also
AI,
in a moral frame.
You don't think AI that creates other AI will create those AIs with its biases? You don't think AI will have its own biases?
That's called model training, man.
Yeah, no, I'm saying once it gets beyond the training and the training wheels are off and they're kind of thinking for itself.
Well, but thinking for itself would still be something to define it as an AI means it would have to still live within some kind of a computer system that contains some constraints like memory and processing power and storage and some other parameters, right? The same way that we have some upper limits, somewhat related to our hardware, like our brains just don't facilitate being like vastly out of range, like 1,000 IQ or whatever. It's just not something that we're really built for, but it is possible to generate a machine that could be 1,000 IQ plus, like way beyond that.
A company in China has an AI surveillance type project that is called what is that thing from Terminator? Skynet. There's a
company name it Skynet. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Dude, but there was a crypto project that launched a platform called Skynet too. It's a popular thing, man. I don't know why we always play with fire like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think art imitates life, or life imitates art a lot of times. And the media has been selling this to the public for like 3 decades now to try to get them.
Oh, you mean how the Democratic Party came out after the DNC with their joyous campaign. Did you see that?
Dude,
Did you see that shit?
What is your problem? What you don't like Nazi campaigns there?
No, I don't like Nazi campaigns. Yes, exactly.
You
Right,
have a problem
exactly.
with joy?
I do.
Oh
I
my
cannot believe. I do. Like, bro, like, I just, man,
It's
I
the
don't know,
creepiest
man.
shit.
So
Somebody
this
gotta help me
operation,
out.
Operation Skynet, commonly known as Skynet, is a clandestine operation of the Chinese Ministry of Public Security to apprehend overseas Chinese as it sees fugitives guilty of financial crimes in mainland China.
Dude.
Part of
Man.
Operation Fox Hunt.
That's not what they meant to do, right? They didn't mean to zap you out of existence for slightly stepping out of line with a communist dictatorship with total control over your information. And,
No, not at all. What are you saying, man? Come on.
you know, it's just, and it. I asked,
Funny.
are we allowed to talk about? Okay, Eric S.
Don't give this man PTSD.
The past CEO of Alphabet is now one of the, well, he has been the largest asset for the DoD. And
I
what
love
they
to
have-
use that word asset, right? Because you can't spell asset without starting
ass
with
part.
ass. Yeah.
ass. He's an asset of the DoD. And, you know, basically, he is probably the most
Who,
powerful one.
Schmidt? Are you talking about Eric?
Yes,
Okay.
you said it. Your fault if we get banned. Now, what it is a flying vacation machine.
Schmidt's a big Democrat backer, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And
I think Schmidt is also on the board.
Here he goes,
the
guys.
Bilderberg board.
I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming.
With Mr. Peter Thiel. And by the way,
knew it was
where's
coming.
Charles? I think they killed Charles Hoskinson.
Where's Charles Hoskinson?
but the whole goal
I think
he's
they
got,
killed him.
he's trying to get the goal of building these flying death machines, apparatuses, for less than $400 a unit. Right now, the problem is they're too damn expensive for us to just release 100,000 of them at a time and keep making them, right? Because they need a lot of them to do what they want to do. He's trying to lower the cost of these death machines. And really, I covered it in a very specific manner, brought up his name, the companies he's from, what he's been doing for the last 20 years, and why this is a giant psyop. And really, we need to practice evading first world drone systems to really have a fighting chance here. But yeah, I mean, this all plays into this AI conversation, man. And like, we're sitting here speculating on this good price action over the next few years. But honestly, with that price increase, I'm going to be building bunkers and buying tanks and doing everything for myself.
Well, you're going to be
Because,
doing everything that the wealthy are doing.
well, you know,
Hey.
Sam Altman, he's outwardly building.
They're
those
all
systems.
doing it.
They're all doing it. They know what's coming. They know what they're
Right.
building. They
There's
don't
a reason.
care.
Yeah, there's a reason why they're spending all this money on building these very expensive, lavish, indestructible facilities.
The funny thing about them is they think that their security isn't going to betray them. Really? You think that they're going to just be good little boys when their families don't have food and they go to work and they have food at their work and
Man, they know where the safe
they
is,
make-
and they know
they
where
make-
the family member is that they need to put pressure on to make sure they get into that safe.
yeah,
Well, they
it's-
may handpick and select people that don't have families.
potentially.
Yeah, or people who are like just nobody, not even just loners. I mean, they have the wherewithal with the connections with the intelligence agencies to be able to find out who are the people that are best to serve as security.
Oh, like they did Bob Lazar.
And you definitely know that they got to know that,
Handpicked
because
Bob Lazar.
that's the same thing that I told somebody that gives Drew PTSD. No, I won't even go into that. Never mind.
Oh, go ahead.
No, we'll just continue on with the conversation.
It doesn't give me PTSD.
Okay, so when somebody was running their mouth about not worrying about
I'm
people
gonna get 'em in
coming
the
to
ring.
their location, because there was a situation where apparently like this individual's house was swatted.
Yeah.
And the cops came out and all this. And then there was some talk about people coming to the work location. Well, what I had told this individual is, you don't think somebody can pay the guard at the gate at your community?
Mm-hmm.
That's the first thing. That's the first thing that people think about. So I'm pretty sure that these wealthy ass motherfuckers have some people like us around them.
Right. Well, and with that rule of law, let's go to worst case scenarios, right? With that rule of law, right? WROL scenario. Those gated communities mean nothing. That gate is defeated exactly once, because they're electronic. If the grid's down, some of them have backup magnetic systems. Very few do. Most of the time, like honestly, even just as a human, if you walked up and you really wanted to exert enough push pressure rather against that gate itself, You could take out whatever the motor is or the servo, or just disconnect the chain. It's done. It's done. But
I don't know what the fuck keeps happening. I think Seth really is hacking my computer and just keeps throwing it up whenever he wants to.
Fat finger.
Major hacker? No.
And you're a honeypot at that point. You know what I mean? Like, think about the situation where things really pop off. You are the target.
Yeah,
the people are looking at those places. They hear your little generator going at night, and they hear and they see the lights from a mile away because everything else is dark, and they know that you're a target. You know, it's the same thing with these overland.
They see your G-Wagon coming up and
100%
to and fro.
100%. I see these, overland vehicles with like all their preps on the outside of the vehicle. Like, bro, you are literally the focus. Like, if I see that coming down the road, like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, like be a smart prepper and take your prepping stuff and leave it in different locations, and don't just have it all in one spot. Distribute your shit.
Yes, and also, look unsuspected. Like I got rid of the FJ because I realized during the Summer of Love that all of these blue hairs realized that I had an AR and all kinds of shit inside the vehicle. So they could tell. And so what I did, I have a minivan now, right? And how do you approach a minivan compared to a kitted out, Ford Bronco? With
but you just told me recently.
Depends on who's driving it, Drew. If you know what to look for, it depends on who's driving.
This comes from the guy who just told me recently he's thinking about buying a tank.
Yeah, it's going to be in the woods covered in foliage.
Bless you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Seriously, somebody has to. Rice, somebody has to. Think about it. Here's the thing. We're not legally prohibited from doing it.
You guys are pros.
And beyond that. Hey.
Are we going
on a
full
different
Red
level,
Dawn?
Rice?
Is this Red Dawn?
Bro,
hey, if it came to it, you know whose house you'd be trying to go and crash on the couch. We already know, bro.
There's extreme power.
If I knew where the hell you lived.
Dude, and there's power foliage and like woods. Like there is extreme power in foliage, man. Like we need to think very primitive. You have that, but how many assets of that are they really going to have? They can't cover everything, and the forests are still very expansive. There's a lot of ways to actually obscure infrared and those thermal systems through foliage, and that actually is pretty effective. Hey, there you go. There you go. See?
What is this? I was trying to solo mode this thing, but for some reason I can't get it.
Yeah, man. I mean, we still, people are kind of underselling their might if they move concisely, but that's why I'm complaining about the food supply first and foremost, is because I feel like everyone's just so squishy around me, and we need to be able to carry a lot of weight. We need to be able to move deep into the woods. We need to be able to cut trees down. We need to be able to lift shit, and we need to be able to run far. And
okay. Well, real quick,
and that means also, all your shit like chainsaws and stuff. Why are you gonna try to get battery powered shit to do forestry?
No.
Okay, so I have a question for you, Drew.
Yeah.
Let's bring it back to the crypto apocalypse.
Okay.
Well, I was going to ask about solutions when it comes to
does crypto play a part in it? It doesn't sound like it from you, and let me just bait it with I don't think it plays a big part myself, so I'm just interested to know. We've talked about this, Seth and Rice and I, in past episodes. What's your take on crypto and its role in an apocalypse?
Yeah, use it to stack money for tanks and weapons. Like, honestly, we're in a speculation market. I think a bear market's going to come back. We are not in this paradigm of a super cycle where it's up and to the right only. And I'm going to be completely out of the market by the end of 2025. I'm going to start laddering out mid-2025. And I can't live. I can't live inside of Bitcoin. I can't feed my kids with crypto. And really what my mindset is I'm setting up to be sovereign and able to provide for my family, even when all man-made systems come to an end, because it is my opinion that the baseline of my operation needs to be operable in a manual fashion, because I do not trust any man-made system. That includes water filtration, that includes food production, that includes understanding how to make trebuchets and fall traps and all kinds of things that are old school. If they're old and they work, they are good. If it's stupid when it works, it's not stupid. So, I understand that we're in this very comfortable situation in America where food is delivered to the grocery store, and for now, it seems all right, right? But the way I'm looking at it, we are entering a stage of complete cataclysm, and I'm just waiting, kind of, concerned about my fellow man watching this thing come to fruition, and everyone's just trying to act like everything's okay. So
Very interesting.
Well, if we get a system that has
can I also just co-sign just really quickly? I love what was Drew saying, and for the same reasons, it's going to be about the guy next to you.
Mm-hmm.
Like when that day comes, we pray to God, please, that it never comes. But it's going to be about the guy next to you and your family, of course. But the guy next to you, because
help your neighbors right now.
That's
Even if go help your neighbors, like go make that connection locally. We've gotten so insulated, like everything is so digitally communicated right now. Like even in a neighborhood, people don't see each other. They don't know the neighbor's name oftentimes, and it's like, if you just make a point to reach out to your neighbors, to get to know them. Me and my neighbor, we trade food. He grows really good tomatoes. I grow a bunch of jalapenos. About all this stuff, we make that connection, and we trade those goods, and we build that connection. And farmers markets, local farmers.
Just don't trade wives.
Don't trade wives.
Yeah, we'll definitely connect up with like your local farmers, your local meat producers, and all that kind of stuff. I think those are important for people to do. This website right here, the Freedom Cells Network, freedomcells.org, is a way for people to connect up with people in your local area. So I would encourage people to check out the website.
Can you fully vouch for them? I always worry about meetups specifically because, like you mentioned earlier,
this is Derek Bros from Conscious Resistance and John Bush. He I can't think of the name, Live Now something. I can't remember the name of his newest media project, but he does these Greater Reset conferences, having a lot of really freedom-minded people come on and talk. So this is one of the few things that I've seen that's remained that allows for people to create local communities, to create these like little cells within your local communities and interconnects those cells and then interconnects them on a state level and then a national level. So it's a way of communication. It's a way of meeting like-minded people.
Yeah. How are they storing their databases?
Probably.
I can get you in touch with the guys. I would say that they're doing everything. I don't know enough of this, but I would say that these guys are doing everything to make sure it's on the up and up, and they're not doing anything that's going to be malicious. But I can get you in touch with these guys. They're very, I mean, like these guys, like if you don't, Derek Bros was running for mayor, I believe, in Houston.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there's a point beyond, like, let's say everyone's sitting here watching this is like, what if it never pops? I will give you a very specific example on how this preparation for what if is useful in a financial market. So I was always preparing for the last like 13 years for a myriad of different reasons. My family served with some high-ranking individuals in the U.S. military, and they gave me the insight on what was to come, and that shit did come. And what I did was I stacked a bunch of food that would and hard-sided goods and toilet paper for my family that would last 1 year. So when COVID crashed, I did not have to spend.
Wait, hold on a second. Why? I need to know. Sorry. What? I'm sorry for the interruption. Bloods gave you the solid snake. Bring.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, I don't know. Well, it crashed. I mean,
because he bought a year's worth of toilet paper.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. What's wrong with this? Why is this not normal to anybody else?
No, did you get the heads up on COVID? Is what I'm at.
I wrote a song.
The next one, even though I think it was the World Health Organization website, which basically says that it's not a life-threatening issue like they had thought it could have been. There is another vacation that they've emergency mandated.
Pneumonia. Right.
But they've also we've also got the monkeypox apparently.
I call them banana dots. Okay, we don't want to get
banana
too crazy
dots.
Here.
I'm not sure if the monkey, I'm trying to think of something that we can use here.
No, blockchain basement. The balls didn't touch. You can't prove that we have it.
Oh my God, bro! I don't even know who on my team did that, but that's
great though. Appreciate the blockchain basement.
But I mean, really, when we did have the flu season crash, I didn't need to spend a dime at Costco. I didn't even need to go to Costco. What I did was went and bought an entire Bitcoin for $4,000, and I bought a bunch of Ethereum for $180 a piece, and I bought a bunch of shameful XRP at 17 cents, and Chainlink was $1.80. So it was incredible. Like monetarily, being prepared for my family meant that when everyone else was scurrying around Costco, dropping thousands of dollars on all these things that they didn't, have in their house already, I was laughing. I went and bought the worst dip I had ever seen for Bitcoin since I started tracking it in like 2017 after that initial pump. I was
the March of 2020 time period. Yeah.
Yes. I bought March 14th. Everything. I put every single dollar I had into crypto on that day. I laid on the ground in my bathroom and I looked at the ceiling and I felt like, okay, either we do go out because of some Resident Evil situation, if this is true, or this is just a scam and I'm going to make a really good return on this. And honestly, it changed our trajectory of my life for my family and allowed us to have a big, beautiful family, some land, and really accomplish things that I couldn't even dream of doing, stuck in the rat wheel of the fiat currency death race. So it does have that. It does have that.
Another thing I want to add real quick with the crypto thing, if we get to a situation where we have programmable currency, even tied in with something like a social credit with a digital ID, where it could cut off and not allow people to use their funds, whatever the case might be, crypto will give us that peer-to-peer interaction that we can still have. And I think that, as long as we have ways of being able to utilize that technology, which a lot of people think, obviously, once the internet goes out, that it's just crypto's done until the internet gets turned back on. Well, but you can use other things to be able to utilize
but no
these
one
technologies.
will be prepared. All like that preparedness that has to be in place now.
Right,
you have to see people using it now.
I agree.
For me to be confident and say,
oh,
we can use low frequency waves and
time is short. Time is short on that, and I think that, like, honestly, if I'm shooting from the hip and responding to, let's say, a month from now, we wake up and CBDCs are a requirement all of a sudden in those 5 states that have tried to outlaw it or superseded by the federal government, I think it's going to be a very red and wet experience for the powers that be, because there's a lot of people that I hung out with, that make up 3% of the population. Get it? That honestly, that is the tipping point. That is the moment where things change from communication and this, delegated conversation on the Hill to things like what Mind Your Biz just showed being the conversation being had at that point. And that is nowhere that this country wants to get. I think the powers that be understand that. They need to bring us to our knees out of fear. And they're going to try a bunch of different ways to do it. They didn't necessarily get the results they wanted out of the last flu season, so they have to try something new to bring people to their knees and accept a digital form of requirements like that. Well,
I think that the setup for November 5th, I know this is always around this time period, but it's not always on the same day. But the fact that this one is on November 5th and the whole V for Vendetta and that whole Guy Fawkes, remember the 5th of November. Either this shit's going to break down right before that, and we could have some shit happening right before that, depending on what's going on in the media. We still have the potentiality of more attempts on people that are running for president's lives to be unalived.
Oh yeah,
so,
depending on astrologers who are saying very specifically that they think it's literally written in the stars that's going to come into the
That's
picture.
what I'm saying. So if the election goes either way, it's going to cause an issue either way. So, but it's like, I'm not sure if it's going to pop off before or right after. So but I feel like, and then, we've talked about the idea of all these different, these military aged immigrants that are coming across the border and what their agenda is and all that. And that could be part of a martial law type situation that could be put forth. Could be some really interesting things. That's why we're having conversations like this. I mean, it's not to scare people, but there's a reason why that they've been putting these kind of narratives of division, civil war, hate, divide, joy into the narrative.
Joy.
And I'm still, there was something that I predicted, and I was thinking about it just 2 nights ago, and I was trying to find a clip from it because I said it twice on Around the Blockchain, and I found one of them, and it was back. The clip that I found is from when we were in Miami at the Bitcoin conference, and I did around the blockchain with Hotep. It was me, Nick, Hotep. And I made a prediction before that I said, and I've said it before, but I kind of feel like we're kind of now it's made me realize it may actually occur, is we could see, and I'm thinking that this will happen before not too long. Something happens to JD Vance and RFK Jr. steps in as a VP nominee.
Man.
And I was predicting before about them teaming up. But now everything has kind of gone the way it has, with him stepping down, backing him up, he's so much more enthusiastic and better with the crowd than JD Vance could ever hope to be. Yeah, and they're already building up shit on Vance in that aspect. So it only makes sense at this point for them to get rid of Vance, put Kennedy in, and have a crazy fucking ticket.
I mean, they've got. I was telling people, like, we're not out of the woods yet when everyone's all excited about Trump's polls like 4 months ago or whatever, 5 months ago. And then that round went through his ear. And I think that was plan A. Plan B is the hyena. Plan C is just shut her down, either through a sickness scare. We have to make it too big to rig. You know, this is bullshit too. This
I know it's bullshit. I'm just pulling it up.
Yeah, this is insane. Oh
my god!
It obviously triggered you, motherfuckers. Though
it did, because
got me back on camera. I was so pissed at that.
I mean, they're trying to sell this as like the election odds, right? Like this isn't anything of what I'm taking the temperature of. And honestly, if they did an honest poll, it'd probably be around 30% for the hyena, 70% for the orange one, if they really had any honesty in them. But
yeah, I mean, I think at this point, with the way that everything is going, I think that they're going to somehow say that she is the winner, and that's going to cause a big issue.
No
Did you
way.
hear what I said, Blood, though, about my prediction?
Absolutely no way. I mean, they will, but God, like
no,
that's.
I'm saying. I don't know if you heard me say this when you stepped off a camera. I was saying that, and I was going back and listening to. Something that I was listening to made me think about the prediction that I made, and I was trying to find the clips of RFK being Trump's VP nominee. I think now where we're at, I think we're actually close to that taking place. I think something is going to happen. They're going to pull JD Vance out. And they're going to put Kennedy in as his VP nominee.
I don't think they're going to do that.
I mean, I'm not writing it off. We've seen some crazy shit happen so far.
I mean, we've got 2 Democrats backing a Republican candidate.
Which is never happened.
You got 2 Democrats backing a Republican, and they're still going to let this woman win.
So you got
Impossible.
more. You got more. It's more division upon division. It creates even that much more further division, because you have division inside the team.
You've got the third running. Go ahead.
Sorry the interruption. I'm going to disagree with you in strongest terms. You saw them do Bernie dirty. You saw them replace Bernie with Hillary. You saw them steal it with these last 2 jokers. What do you mean that party's not capable of it? Yeah,
I mean, even not going through the democratic process and just
it's capable.
When the Democratic primaries took place, it was Joseph Biden that won the primaries, not Kamala Harris. So when they pull Biden out or Biden steps down, it doesn't automatically mean that Kamala Harris gets to just take the spot. There's supposed to be a fucking democratic process that was completely skipped over.
And they got away with
anyone talking.
They got away with it. No,
because
everybody left the center. They all jumped in line. AOC was one of the first, right? She did a little TikTok dance commemorating the fact that Kamala was installed with no due process.
And then you have them trying to or arresting the Telegram founder, and then Telegram. If you go back and listen to his interview with Tucker Carlson, he talks about pressure from governments to put backdoors into Telegram, not allowing it, and causing him issues. And then the next fucking day, you got Zuckerberg coming out now saying, "I was made to do this by the federal government," trying to boohoo like as if
by the Biden administration. Let's be a little bit more specific.
Well, he runs one of the largest data analytics organizations on the planet, and I think that Zucky sees that the human shift in trust and left-leaning conversations is waning. And what I think is going to happen, I think the orange one's going to get it, but what the Dems are doing with this Inflation Reduction Act is funding a new movement that will marry with the BLM movement, and they will in concert provide America with a summer of love times 10. And that is where my main concern is. I think that it's going to be after the selection process is done. And within the Inflation Reduction Act, there is it's a $2 billion funding program, but hundreds of millions of dollars is actually making it in itself into the hands of the same people, Rosenberg, Eric Mann, all these other people that did do the foundational funding for BLM in and of itself. Now we have a hybrid system of Palestinian movement with the BLM, and they're going to come together with this new basket of money under the guise of Inflation Reduction Act, and they're going to utilize that to ensue a large degree of what we saw last election cycle. Which
I think Trump's going to get in too, but they're going to, like you said, they're going to make all hell break loose.
Yeah.
After he gets in, they're going to rug pull the financial markets. Crypto's going to tank, all that. Like,
and I know we need to talk more about that. I don't think that the rug pull in the financial market is going to be as early as we're thinking it'll be.
I'm thinking 2026. I still,
and that kind of that makes sense, because if we're still going off of 4-year cycles, we wouldn't technically see a cycle top until 2025.
Yeah, at the end of it, and like November, if we follow
Q4. Just to reiterate,
okay,
but maybe not,
right.
but not,
but maybe not this Q4. Okay, I got you.
Yeah, I think we can cook, and Nvidia will be great, and all the markets will surge, and economy's feeling great.
Yeah, because we're gonna have one last big fucking hoorah for these markets before the bubble pops.
We haven't had that
money
already.
Not nothing compared to what's coming, because they're already we already know the Federal Reserve, based off the language at Jackson Butthole that Jerome Powell is saying, that basically
I like that one. I gotta steal that one.
We got
Jackson Butthole.
Why would you choose that place? But anyway, so and they've already talked about rate cuts coming, and so you have Bank of America telling its customers to buy gold. You have Deutsche Bank telling their customers to short the 10-year Treasury market, the U.S. 10-year Treasury.
Whoa!
So those are two things that you would never see.
Absolutely.
So yeah, we're not quite there. Also, I think just recently, I think I just heard it this morning. Warren Buffett just sold like another $1 billion worth of Bank of America stock.
Yeah, he's the largest owner.
Basically calling the top of Bank of America.
He's the largest owner of BlackRock. He's letting BlackRock cook. They're going to grab their value from Bitcoin. They're going
Bank of America's got a lot of stake in BlackRock too.
Absolutely. And also, he holds more treasuries than the Treasury Department, right?
Yes.
So that is something to keep in mind. Like, Buffett knows what's coming. He's laddering out. He's selling his positions, going into cash. The predecessor, the guy that's going to take control of him, is he comes from supposedly the oil and gas industry, but his recent comments are, we need to wind down the energy industry, guys. I know what I'm talking about, and you need to trust me because I come from the industry, and we need to shut down energy production. It's going to get very ugly, and I think Buffett is slowly laddering out of his positions of Apple and letting BlackRock cook the books on their value in Bitcoin, and then they're going to watch this market crash, and they're going to buy up all the blood, just as they do every single time, and the blood is going to be pretty bad. So,
bad blood. You hear that, blood? Bad blood.
Oh, is it going to be crypto blood that they're buying, or is it going to be blood crypto?
I think it'll be like energy stocks.
To her street smart, bro.
Tokenize yourself so they can buy your blood. Sell your blood.
A good soundbite.
Oh my god. Well, I need to go pick up my baby daughters, my twins.
Yeah, we're gonna have to wrap up in the next 15 minutes anyways, because blood has a hard stop. So we appreciate you joining us, man.
Thanks, Drew. We appreciate it, brother.
We're definitely gonna have to get you back on here, and I need to get back in contact with you about scheduling for the blockchain basement.
Absolutely, bro. Let's get it going.
What happened to ATB?
Is that it's actually gonna start up again.
Oh, great.
I was thinking about starting a channel using it, since apparently anybody can use any of those brand names over there. Since it seems to be an open playing field, I could just do around the blockchain 2.0.
It's a little crazy.
I don't think the plural is trademarked. Just saying, you can have that one if you want.
A little weird, but do as you may. It's free country. I'm gonna go pick up these baby girls. I appreciate you guys. Make sure you're following Mind Your Biz, CryptoBlood, RiceTVx, Freedom Fighters, all around the board. And
we're gonna have, and I have links, so I'll make sure the other guys have links for Blockchain Basement's YouTube channel and for the Druth Crypto over on the X side. Appreciate you again joining us, man.
Absolutely blessed.
How is Drew not over 5,000 on Twitter, guys? This is a travesty. Make it change, please.
I know. Go follow me. Have at it. Have at it. All right, boys. I'll see you soon.
Take care, man. Much love.
Peace.
Yeah, I mean, I think the food thing is definitely something important because
I didn't even think about it until her RFK, man. That was a great angle. That was a political pillar that I have never heard. I don't know about you guys. In the 39 years I've been here, never heard anyone go with that.
I do try to have sympathy for these people who don't think for themselves, because if they're eating all this fucking crap that's manufactured to not allow them or to prevent them from thinking for themselves, it's kind of a catch-22.
Yeah,
so
well, here's the thing. It's
just educating people about changing their habits, and maybe if we could start educating people right, and it's like, I mean, not only the food. I've had so many people questioning the color of the sun. It's like, didn't I grow up with the yellow sun? Why is this sun white? There's so many different things.
Why are you staring at the sun in the middle of the day at the highest UV?
I'm not. I'm talking about look up videos about the sun used to be yellow, but now it's white.
Well, have any of these people stopped to think that they are looking at it through different consumer technology that might actually tint the sun? I mean, you literally look at it through an entirely different digital sensor today than you would have
technology replacing it, because there is patents on those kind of ideas.
Oh, like
the sun? China was talking about the sun is white, if I'm not mistaken. Under
sounds kind of racist.
Normal,
why?
That sounds kind of racist.
In every, that is racist. But in every single picture of the sun that you see, it's yellow.
Okay, it's orange.
Why do people color it orange yellow if it's fucking white?
No.
Well, why is the sky blue? Let me ask you a very important question, a relevant question.
And that's
why
the
is the
reason
grass
the sun
green
is
then, man?
yellow.
What the fuck then? Why do we have green grass?
Hey, you don't look at the sun through the grass. You look at the sun through the sky, don't you? Okay, so why is the sky blue?
I had no clue. Because of the water above us.
It's blue because of O3 ozone.
Yeah, it reflects the blue.
O3 is oxygen to the third power.
Yeah, that's the chemical composition for ozone.
Mm-hmm.
Is it made
that
up
layer
of oxygen?
that goes on the outside? You might say it's that layer that's just before you reach the firmament.
Just before the water.
Just
before the water's above.
Just before the water's above.
Yeah. Because the firmament and then the water's above.
Oh, shit. Here we go, ladies.
The waters above are where the stars are.
You know something else that I learned too? That Mormons believe that Jesus Christ and Satan, Lucifer are brothers.
Brothers?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on a second. Are we going to get into theology today?
No, we don't have enough time. We don't have.
Yeah,
enough
we don't.
time.
That's
for next week. Okay. The three wise men on a camel going to see Jesus. That's the title of next week.
Which one is frankincense and myrrh?
Right.
What about candescence and myrrh?
The other one was gold. So I don't know.
But from my understanding, the sun is yellow for the same reason the sky is blue. It reflects that part of the
energy
the
or
light,
the chemical composition
when it hits the atmosphere. Yeah. But if you look at the sun out in space, it's a white ball.
But some people are saying that it didn't used to look like a white ball.
Thermonuclear reaction.
It used to look more like a yellow-orange ball is what people are claiming. I mean, this
but we're also finding out that all those like space photos from NASA, those are all
Berenstain Bears. Which one is it, man?
That's a more relevant question because culturally, it's going to matter in the next 100 years. Just saying. But with everything that's deep space photography, we don't
color.
Yeah, they don't even they're using exotic sensors to just figure out is there an element drifting out there for this nebula? That's all they're identifying.
Yeah.
And then they're making it fancy and pretty for us.
Right. NASA has these artists that literally sit down and say, I think this gas is going to be blue.
Now, see, I would love to just go
down.
Sometimes
it's based on some science, right?
I would love to cover topics like this and go down some of these rabbit holes that people call conspiracies.
Yes. So wait a second. So why did you lead all that segment with asking about a question on Mormon doctrine, which
I don't even know why
it's fully published?
It just completely just popped up in my brain, and I just said it. Sometimes, sometimes I don't say everything that pops up in my brain, but that particular moment I did.
Yeah, got it. Hey, so here's the other thing. I think for the record, people need to know I don't speak for the Mormon Church. And
well, you're not practicing Mormon anymore, are you?
Yeah, I'm really not. But you could say I've left Orthodoxy. But the thing about having been raised in a cult is that you have to acknowledge it's like being the child of abuse.
I wasn't trying to put you in some negative light.
No, and I know that. Whatever. I'm just saying though. The thing about being raised in a cult is that
Mormonism. I don't know if that's the right. Is it's a cult?
He calls it a cult.
Blood, let me ask you: Do you feel like it checks enough boxes for you to feel comfortable with a term like that?
I don't know. That's what I don't know.
I think all religions.
It's a serious question.
All religions are cults to me.
I have to agree. I seriously have to agree.
There's obviously degrees of cultism.
Yeah, exactly. But one really important measure is to see did the founder use their social position to take advantage of women? That's usually a strong underlying theme in a really good cult. Because hey, otherwise it's not very good to be the leader of that cult, is it?
What if that cult leader is gay?
What if that cult leader wears gold underpants?
What if they're gay?
If he's gay, then it's not a cult.
Name 3.
I couldn't name one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You said you couldn't name one?
I couldn't.
No, so I am for I am. I didn't
leader.
just do the mission thing. I stayed in the mission thing for a full transfer. I taught at the MTC for 2 years. I then worked at the MTC in their media department for another 2 years. I'm a super duper ultra mega 33rd degree missionary in that program. I know the program very well.
What made you leave?
Oh, wow.
This is a book that David Rumbelow hooked me up with.
Nice.
So yeah, if it's available on audiobook, that's great. Audible saved my intellect, basically. So
yeah, same.
Yeah, look, this is a pretty large book.
Yeah, so I know we're running thin on time, and I got to go lift weights with my boys. They need some time with their dad, but I would love to unpack this sometime if you guys want to make it a topic of conversation. Yeah, it's just it's nuanced, Blood, and I make it a really personal thing because I don't want to speak poorly about an institution. I think that the LDS Church has been a net credit to the world in some ways.
That's why I was shocked that you called it a cult.
Yeah. But it's complex because I realized that my upbringing was in a social structure that checks a lot of boxes, and for most people, they would be comfortable just calling it a cult and calling it a day.
Well, there is. There's even there's subsections of Mormonism that are even more cultish because it's like more subsect.
Oh, like Christianity? Gotcha.
No, I mean Mormonism would be under the Christianity umbrella. Same thing as Catholicism, but they're
Mormons would say that.
No,
Mormons would say that, but Christians wouldn't.
And Catholics aren't. And Catholicism is not Christianity.
But as far as it's lumped in the same kind of category because of Jesus. It's not part of it's not the old faith of the Hebrews, the Jewish people, because the Jews don't believe in Christ as the Messiah. So
the Catholics don't think that Jesus was.
No, they say he was God in the flesh, but they also worship Mary as well. And from what I understand, you need to pray to a saint for intercession because they say you can't pray directly to Jesus or God, whereas the New Testament, basically just like crypto cuts out that third party, that middleman.
Right. Mm-hmm. And then I mean, I don't know, the government, for example, I mean, leave it to the military to try to put things into just a couple of specific narrow categories. But like for the longest time, right, in the military, it's like, are you Catholic, Protestant, or Jewish? What else is there?
Good question.
Does anything else exist?
This should be the final question of the day, and then we'll wrap things up. Have you ever met a black Mormon?
Bro, I was raised Mormon. I met like all 5 of them. Shut up.
All 5?
I know all of them. I know all the black Mormons.
Well, then you should be able to say them by name.
No, I wasn't raised in Utah, dude. That's the thing.
He's not going to dox himself.
I was not raised in Utah. This is public record. I was born in New York, raised between Mexico and California.
Mexico?
Yeah, bro. The colonies.
His last name is
very Mormon thing.
Damn.
He's Hispanic. He's actually Hispanic.
This guy's a ball of mystery.
Estrada.
Yeah, I guess. Here's the thing, though, Blood. You got to start coming out to events. Start with maybe Singapore. We'll party internationally.
Okay.
We'll talk about some
All right.
over drinks. I don't know if we can do that whole full public show if you want, but But I think the problem is
I'm a private person, actually.
You're a fish and chips dude and a cigar lounge dude.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, because I can tell you, me and Blood has still never had a full-on conversation about this shit. I've been wanting to have a conversation for a couple years about the idea of religion and spirituality and all that kind of shit.
Oh man, I would love to.
Because I like
it might help some people out, or make some people hate us. I don't know, whichever.
So again, we got links down below for each other's channels and each other's social media, for our YouTube channels. I don't know what the hell I was just saying. I was trying to sound smart.
Clicks, boy. He's a fool.
What did you say?
Seth definitely is CIA.
No, he doesn't know the CIA very well. They don't pay you if they can get your best information for free. That's how that works.
No, not at all.
All right, so once again, got links down below for each other's YouTube channels and X accounts in each other's video description. Make sure you're following Drew at DrewCrypto. Make sure you're following Seth over at _biz, following CryptoBlood at CryptoBlood_, and following myself at RiceTVx. Again, we have links down below in each other's video description. Make sure you smash that like button if you're watching on X. Repost would be greatly appreciated. Before we wrap up, Seth, any final thoughts?
No, just this is always the highlight of my week, gentlemen. I appreciate that I've got to do another one with a lot of hot takes and with Drew involved, which is awesome. Yeah, this is a lot of fun.
Definitely a good conversation.
Yeah.
Blood, you got any final thoughts?
Yeah, tonight I'll be on the blockchain nightcap, crypto nightcap with FD White and Tradefly over on Army Piper's channel, 8:30 Eastern Standard
On YouTube
time.
Or X
on
Space?
YouTube. Yep,
okay.
On YouTube. So
what time again?
8:30.
8:30. Sweet. Okay.
Army Piper channel.
Cool.
Yep.
I wish you would have said something earlier. We could have dropped some links in the video chat.
Yeah, I didn't think about it.
All right.
But yep, that's it.
Cool. Well, we definitely are planning on coming back at you next Wednesday. We had some technical issues last week that prevented us from doing the live stream, but we are planning on being back at you next Wednesday for this 3WW action. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe to all of our channels. It'd be greatly appreciated. If you haven't smashed that like button, please take an opportunity to do so. And I'm going to ride us out with this little, I don't know what you want to call it, with a compilation, a mix of Seth's AI music that was created for us individually. Appreciate you, Seth.
Yeah, great stuff.
Hey, man. My pleasure.
Much love, fam.
Yo, it's CryptoBlood, Detroit flow, streaming from the D, knowing what the show, indicators are wrong point, OG since 12, invested in trade, living life like a pro, I'm Rucker, Jerry, it's just blood too, bad motherfucker in a good way, boo, got my eyes on the charts, ain't no time to sleep. Get that money, gotta keep it creep. That's why CryptoBlood, just the toasters on the line. Stacking my coin, got the market on my mind. Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum too. Cash is king, but I'm looking for a new move. I know the culture of the markets like the streets. Got my finger on the pulse, can't nobody beat. I see the trends, I see the flow. Got my strategies in place, you know.
Yo, it's NYBZ on the mic coming through the mist, talking crypto and privacy things you can't dismiss. YouTube's wild jungle, I'm the lion, can't resist. Guiding through the blockchain, teaching about the risk. Mind your biz, don't miss. Eeny, meeny, miny biz, we on a privacy blitz. Step in the mix, dropping knowledge with no tricks. YouTube to the wallet, keep it tight, no weights. Click clack, I hack the facts, that's how I attack. From Bitcoin to Monero, stacking privacy back. YouTube's got eyes, but I'm the cloak in disguise. NYB on the rise, educating the wise. Mind your biz, don't miss. Eeny, meeny, miny biz, we on the privacy blitz. Step in the mix, dropping knowledge with no tricks. YouTube to the wallet, keep it tight, no weights.
RiceTVx, the Mike's Live Wire, American Pitbull, real gold buyer, sound money advocate, rights defender. In the crypto arena, he's the top contender. From the gritty streets of the digital age, Rice lays wisdom, chapter and page. Silver, gold, he scores only the bold. Land, life, and liberty, these values hold. Constitution, deep dive, knowledge revival. Navigate the system, critical for survival. Rice engraved like inscriptions on metal. Pitbull in the game, lead foot on the pedal.